Hey, Ma, do you know what bursts my bubble?
What bursts your bubble, Andrew?
Medication. As you know, I'm on a mega regimen of medication. Some of them include Invega, Latuda, Lithium, Lamictal. Am I on any others? Can you recall any others? I mean, I'm on medicines for the adverse effects too, like Exelon,
Zofran.
Zofran, that's for nausea, right? Lamotrigine, cabergoline. So just, my psychiatrist once joked, I am the pharmacy, because I'm on so much medication, and high doses too. And, this is really frustrating, because I don't want to feel like I'm having a chemical lobotomy, numb to life, never really happy, never really sad, and now it's kind of like he's, suggesting we increase the medicine even more. Like, what am I just going to keep
No, he wants to change it because of, a funk, and then change it and hopefully lower the others. Because if this is the one that is working, then you don't need the others.
To be perfectly honest with you, I prefer the CBT psychiatry where you talk these issues out and you learn to do this yourself. Catch it, check it, change it. And I've made a lot of progress in CBT psychiatry, but I'm not going to lie. I'm beginning to get really discouraged and really frustrated with medication because it's like we've tried everything. I mean, it's just like I need to take charge and,
But that's been the problem. You haven't been able. You were stuck. So now check it, change it, and tweak it with the medicine, lower the other meds, and hopefully be able to come off.
It's easy for you to say just take medication, but I know when you take medication for whatever,
it's frustrating.
You call your medication mind numbing, and I hear that and it's like, how do you think I feel? I don't want to feel like I'm having this chemical lobotomy,
Absolutely nobody wants you to be on any medication if you don't have to be. But you also want to function in life. You want to be able to function. So I mean...
No, obviously you don't want to go around like a raving lunatic, delusional, not even in your right frame of mind, but you don't want to be lobotomy man just sitting there like never really happy, never really sad, just numb to everything. You want to have a personality too,
But you have the right to question, if I change to this, can I start coming down on others if this works? Can I start coming down on others if this works? Because sometimes one medication is all it takes. There was one medication that the doctor suggested that would wipe out all the other medications.
That Clozaril.
But that's heavy duty.
So all right, let's go on Clozaril. Let's just medicate the hell out of Andrew. And it's frustrating.
Of course it's frustrating. I mean,
and you might think it's like a magic pill. Let's just take medication, but there are adverse effects like weight gain, sexual function issues. That's a big one that's really embarrassing and frustrating. Memory issues. I have bad short-term memory, bad cognitive functioning. What are some other? I have difficulty swallowing, so I often kind of choke on my food. I take medicine for my thyroid. Shaking. I tremble. It's not like taking this magic pill that's just like, now everything's fine. Now your mind is numb.
But then with
it's hardcore medication.
Yes, but with the CBT treatment, if the CBT treatment was getting you into a functioning capacity.
No, and my medication psychiatrist says the CBT psychiatry actually has worked wonders, and I've made a lot of progress in that, and I will continue to make progress in that. And hopefully someday I can get to the point where I don't need it. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'll have a little pick me up, but hopefully I can come down on my medication at some point.
I'm hoping that very minimal at some point.
That's what I'm hoping too. That's what I really want.
But this change is what we're trying to do to get you to come down. In other words, if you make this change, you come down on the other one, and then...
I don't think that makes sense. Let's increase my medication so you can come down on your medication.
No,
I mean, your rationale is increase medication so you can move forward and take charge of your life, then eventually come down. But still...
he said start coming down on the other one immediately. He did, if you don't recall what he said. He said, so
basically, replacing a medication with another medication, a medication tweak is what that would be.
A tweak to see if then, and then maybe then, if this helps, the other ones can come down.
I guess.
That's what I'm hoping. And that's what, and this way you get that little shove that you've been lacking.
When push comes to shove, I think it all boils down to taking charge of my life, not relying on being a mommy addict, not, just taking charge of my life. And, I want to tell you, I go to this recovery group, and I have a lot of experience and skills when it comes to cameras. And I was showing people, how to take photographs, how to take the photographs and videos and put them on the computer, how to make a YouTube. And I was even showing people like staff, and I sometimes fail to realize that I have a lot of skills that a lot.
You have a college degree. A lot of them don't.
Let's not criticize people, but I have a lot of skills that people would find useful. And I have a friend who's a photographer and a videographer. He films weddings. Like, that's something I'm very capable of. Maybe it's not grandiose like Mr. Hollywood movie, but I could film somebody's wedding. I have skills in that area, And I think I'm personable. I think, there is potential there,
Even photography and taking pictures for National Geographic or.
Yeah, obviously I need to hone my skills as a photographer, maybe potentially take a class. I don't have the training yet, but...
And theater. And you like theater.
I like theater, acting. Somebody suggested working at an art studio, like where they draw, because I like drawing. I find it therapeutic, relaxing, and maybe I could develop as a painter, an artist, and maybe working as an art studio to make some money to fund going...
Well, art is kind of different today.
No, I'm saying working at an art studio for fun, because I find art fun, but that's not going to be my job, because I'm not really good at that. I'm actually really bad at that. But maybe pursuing acting and theater and things like that, you know what I mean?
I think theater and being an extra and maybe getting into commercials and things like that is a fun way to go.
And let's not deny. This video really isn't a perfect example of how breathtakingly good looking I am, but I am pretty handsome,
You're a handsome dude.
When I get dressed up nice, so often in these videos, I look like I just rolled out of bed. It's first thing in the morning. I'm drinking my coffee. When I get dressed up to go into the city to go to the recovery group, I'm so handsome. That's what I need to start doing. I need to have excuses to get dressed up because I'm handsome when I do.
And going into the city is an excuse to get dressed up.
That is what it is.
Signing off.
Signing off.